Okay, and now we have one last person.
Yeah, I didn't
Taylor,
even,
lightning round. Let's go.
Taylor, lightning round.
Yeah, it literally is because I didn't even write them down. Because I've
Go ahead, Taylor. Just talk, brother.
I've died in Caves of Cud, I think, like 6 times since I joined the show.
I'm gonna guess that's one of your games.
It definitely is one of the games. So I didn't pick it up until the 1.0. And then it's got a tough entry point for sure.
Mhm.
Tougher than I would even for roguelikes is a tough entry point. But there's a few things quite like it. I showed it to a friend of mine. He was like, "Holy shit, is that a mud?" And I was like, "Yeah, kind of. If you only read the text, I guess." But you know, it's a roguelike for somebody who wants actual roguelike. Although, I mean, what the fuck does that mean anymore? Anyway, I don't know. It's an open world RPG, except give it to me in pseudo ASCII. You know, really, you'd gonna die a lot. It's so tough because I want to be like really powerful in the game, and I don't think I've actually ever left the early game. And it's crazy. Like, I haven't seen any of this shit in this trailer, to be quite honest. Not a goddamn thing. I have no idea what the fuck I'm looking at. But I don't know. It's just there's immutable story points. Zach talked about a little bit, but there are, like, you know, the overworld map is the same every time. Like, the spire is always in the same spot. There's certain towns that are always in the same spots. But then, other than that, everything else is random. So, you know, there's certain quests that will happen every time, but what you necessarily do in those quests could change. The items that appear from the quests could change, stuff like that. And so that's what Zach meant by, like, you know, the lore of the world changes regardless of how many times you play it. Even though the overworld is the same, the history is the same. So, you know, in addition to you learning the game, you also learn every time, you know, your character is smarter by, you know, you carrying over not just how to play the game, but also the lore of this world of Cud. Yeah, it's really good. I want to be very strong in Caves of Cud, and I have not been, and it makes me mad. It makes me angry. But speaking of other roguelikes, Balatro was certainly on my list. Sucked up a ton of hours. It's kind of crazy that it came out this year, because it came. Was it February? So, like, we're almost at a full year ago that Balatro came out. We would be so lucky to be blessed with another Balatro like game early on in a calendar year. I'm waiting for Zach to tell me what's coming down the pike.
You missed Ballionaire.
Ballionaire. Yeah, I mean,
that's my number 7 of the year.
I've heard good things. You know, what's interesting is that, like, especially during my parental leave that I've been on, which sadly ends a week from tomorrow. I started, so Balatro was watching Balatro, and then I was watching people playing Balatro, and I was like, the amount of time that I've now spent watching, like, Northern Lion, just in general, basically 100% as a result of Balatro, is pretty crazy. So that's the only reason I know about Ballionaire, is because he also was playing Ballionaire like when it came out. But yeah, no, Balatro's just a sick game. You guys already brought up all the main points, which is that it's a gamer's game. You get numbers go up. And then you learn mechanics, and then the numbers go upper than before.
But then sometimes numbers go down, and I don't.
But then sometimes numbers do go downer, and that's when you were not gaming hard enough.
That's on you, not the
That's
game.
real. I mean, that's a you problem for sure.
And sometimes the boss blind nerfs your entire build.
Yes, yes,
You
that's
walk into
the
the
worst.
I had a friend.
Chips the whole.
I had a friend who just sent me a screenshot because I talked him into playing Balatro this week, and he was on the boss blind, and he had the Joker where all cards are recognized as face cards,
and then all face cards are disabled. Fucking classic.
That's when you gotta sell that Joker ASAP to get rid of it as fast as possible.
It was just the text. It was just like, "Fuck you."
Let's see what else. What else we got here? I also I didn't get far enough to really kind of fully qualify it. Yeah, we'll talk about some of that shit because I got a few of those on here. Kunitsugami, Zach, I know that was on your list too. Mm-hmm. Kunitsugami is just like
it's good. It's just like
a
weird.
It's just like a sick showpiece.
Yeah.
Like people that wanted to not even necessarily tell like a specific story, but wanted to do a specific thing with a video game, and they, the Capcom was like, yeah, sure, go for it, man, do whatever. And you're like, okay, I get to play that. That's kind of cool. Zach, I'm just going to assume that you already described like what it is and what you do in it. So, I think that it rolls out the systems a little too slowly. Because like I can tell that there's a deeper combat system just based on what it looks like from some of the items that I get, and I'm like, you don't have to. Why are we acting like we've got a harness on a puppy? Like you can dole this shit out a little bit faster than this. So I think it's definitely got some speed issues, which is probably why it got held back a little bit. But like it just oozes all the other good shit. Aesthetics are top. Music is really good.
It's a Pikmin for adults.
I'm a Pikmin for Pikmin. I was gonna say for weebs, but I was like, no, that's kind of Pikmin.
Yeah, that's
but yeah. I mean, like, I don't have any. I read some things that I guess commanding followers gets really tough in some of the later levels where where levels are a lot bigger. I didn't put a ton of time into it, but I'm like, I didn't even see that shit with the time that I did put into it. So to me, that just means that shit needed to fly out a little bit faster. I think the levels are actually kind of like a little long for especially the early ones. They're like they're straight lines. It's like you don't, they've got this day-night cycle and things like that. I'm like, this should, I don't know, everything I feel like needed to go a little bit faster. But otherwise, like, I don't know, look at this shit was like, and it looks a lot better when you're actually playing it instead of 25 FPS YouTube replay. So but yeah, no, that game ruled. It was on sale, so I was like, let me pick that shit up. I was trying to think of what the fuck I was playing this year, and then I remembered that like one of the reasons why my list is so low is because I played Slay the Spire for like 200 hours this year. And
game of the year for Taylor.
I'm like, wait, is it too late? Is it too late? Can I put them in? No, I felt like I had to mention it. I think I do this. I think I do this every year. I'm like, what game that didn't come out?
It's been game of the year like 4 years running for you at this point.
Yeah, I think,
not even specifically Slay the Spire. I feel like every year I'm like, what game didn't come out this year that I played a shit ton of? Like I think last year was Logiar Grimoire, but other shit that I played that was cool. Fields of Mistras, Zach, I know you mentioned it. But it's good. It's got, I don't know, it's like I think it's still missing a little something. So I mean, we'll see. So we'll see what happens when that hits comes out of EA. But it's got the goods.
It's got the juice, baby.
The juice.
It does have
the juice. Is loose.
Did
you guys hear about OJ Simpson? He ran 120 yards a game.
I also am a 1000x resistor, as aforementioned. It
You
is.
said it wrong.
I did.
Yeah, that's 1,000 times resist.
Yeah, whatever. I
It's what
say X.
the-
I say X instead of times.
Clearly,
all the
really
time.
stuck in your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Man, if this game is like the best tech demo that's ever been turned into a full game that I've ever seen.
Right?
It's crazy. It's pretty nutty. When it's like, I swear there is a scene where characters are just straight up T-posed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And,
There's kind of
you
a
know, they
theme.
do it intentionally, obviously. Like,
Yeah.
everything's intentional in this game. Like, there isn't anything that's not intentional.
There's so many spoilers in this, but you wouldn't know there's spoilers.
Yeah,
once
you
you
don't
play
know
the
there's
game.
spoilers.
Oh my
It's
god.
pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, I'm waiting to see if I see scenes from a specific part of the game in this trailer.
I like that we're at the time now where we can
Mhm.
just do that thing in games where you push a button and you just immediately change the scene. Like
Yeah.
that was an impossible thought, like 5 years ago, and now it's
Oh
just
my
like,
God.
oh, Alan Wake 2 did it, and now this game gets just like a team of 5 people can pull
Mhm.
that shit off.
Oh, you're talking about like the time shift portion?
Yeah,
Time
time
shift
shift, yeah.
and-
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, did you guys even, did we talk about the Hong Kong?
We talk about a bunch of stuff.
We danced around it.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, like, I don't know. I don't feel like that's oversharing too much on it. But like I said, we'll save the rest of the discourse for a spoiler
Yep.
show. But
Yeah,
I mean, it's definitely a must play. I don't know. I'm gonna cheap out. I'm not gonna pick a game of the year because I don't know what the fuck I would pick. But like, Metaphor Refantasio has got to be up there because speaking of games that got the juice,
I ain't got the juice.
Metaphor has all the things of the games that you want to like. If you're, I mean, not everybody's an RPG fan, and not everybody that's an RPG fan is a fan of Persona-like games, but I think that it does things better than a lot of the Persona games does in a lot of ways that would make people that are like, I like JRPGs but not Persona, they're like, all right, well then hop aboard because we're on a different train now. And it's killer. I fell out of it. I think I was like in a habit where I was playing Metaphor all the time, and then the habit broke. And you ever have that where the game that you have no reason why you're not playing it anymore except that the habit broke, and then you're like, I don't know what to do. And so you just don't go back. That's Metaphor for me right now. And I think how many Steam, tell me how many hours I have in this game. 90 hours.
So you're about a third of the way through.
So I'm thinking I'm a third
my
of the way through.
WWE 2K24 time.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I know that there are some of the Persona stuff with it, or the Shin Megami Tensei stuff in it, as far as the demon summoning, like that ekes back into it. I don't even have the class that can do that shit, man. And I don't know. It's just, it works without it, I guess, is where I'm coming from. The angles that it takes of trying to tell other stories instead is, I don't know, it just supersedes all of it. I don't know. It makes everything better for it. Also, the character designs are fucking sick. It's really, really nice when they were like, oh, we're no longer constrained to like having to make Japanese high schoolers, and how many options that opened up for the general character design. Really did wonders for him. But yeah, I mean, go ahead.
And like I said, the game is like, hey, there's these bad guys, let's kill them, and you kill them, and that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like, who doesn't like dismantling the aristocracy?
Love it.
At the end of the day.
Yep.
What else we got? Honorable mention, Factorio Space Age. It's a DLC / expansion that came out, and that did some sick stuff. And they also rewrote a lot of core components to that game, which was sick. Path of Exile 2. How much time did I put in that one? Like,
Satisfactory. Oh my god, I forgot that game. That game was so good.
Wait, so did Satisfactory hit 1.0?
Yeah, dude.
I mean, I've been playing Satisfactory for like 6 years, so I forget what when sometimes this is like that weird Hades moment where everybody's like, "Holy shit, you guys hear about Hades?" So like, I don't know, I've been playing it for 8 months. Is it like, do people care now? It was weird.
Are we
like,
allowed to talk about it like it's a real game now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me with Caves of Cut. I'm like, yeah,
Wait,
why
but that's
are
fair.
we-
That's fair.
Oh, okay.
But I did try Grun
Mhm.
at Zach's recommendation, and it's neat. It didn't hook me like I wanted. I needed to hit the Outer Wilds level where I think there's something I haven't learned a thing I need to learn in the game for the hooks to have sunk in. So instead, what's happened is that I've died twice, and I'm just like, well, fuck this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't find the thing that I needed to find where I was like, yeah,
Right.
no, oh shit.
Right now, it's just a farming survival.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a farming survival thing, and then like I drowned once. Is really what it mostly is.
Did you go into the church and blow the horn?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, so that wasn't enough of a hook for me yet. I don't know. We'll see.
Did you fight the ghost in the graveyard with the horn? Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's a weird fucking game, man. You play as a gnome. It's so bizarre. And also, but like seriously, you just want to sit there and cut the fucking grass. It's great. You get chopping, and you don't want to stop. It's tough.
And then sometimes if you cut the grass in the graveyard, a ghost pops out and he kills you.
Yeah, did you notice that? Like
You just described Legend of Zelda. Jesus
there's
Christ.
a specific sound where if you cut the flowers instead of the grass, yeah,
It's like,
yeah, I was like, I didn't like that sound. It made me feel bad. Wait, when did Animal Well come out? Was that this year?
That was this year, man.
Yo, Animal Well is up there. What the fuck? Did like who out here playing Animal Well? That game is probably actually that was in the top 5 for sure.
I played it and I was like, okay. So I don't know.
Mhm.
I mean, listen, you like bad games. It's fine.
You and
what else?
Stefan hanging out playing
Yeah,
a bad
Yeah, there you go.
Stefan and I are two sides of the same
It's
coin.
crazy. You really are. And, like the craziest games are the ones that like ride along the ridge line of the coin in between both sides. Yeah, I think that's
Nice.
let the rest of the games rest in peace. That I didn't mention because
World of Warcraft Classic.
yeah, well, yeah. How did you know, man?
That's what I've been playing.
Taylor's list of games of the year.
It's full stream of consciousness. You get nothing else.